the grow bed has to be black, because if it wasn't black, there would be a buildup of algae, algae. Alright guys, welcome back to the 5th week of Diving Into Aquaponics. Now you're probably hearing the sound of trickling water in the background. And no, that's not an effect I put in the background, but it's actually the sound of our aquaponics system that's running. So I'll be showing you guys what I did, the changes that I made since last week. I just showed you the initial build with me just holding all of the pieces together and just having attached together, but it wasn't actually finished yet. I'll show you what it looks like right now. So here, now we have the grow medium on the top of the grow bed, which is made of the pumice rocks, and then we also have painted the grow bed black because I consulted with a friend and he mentioned that I need to paint this black so there wouldn't be a buildup of algae in the grow bed. So that's why I painted that black. I just use regular enamel paint. I'll put a video right now to show you what it looks like. It dried overnight. I suggest you don't do it in a confined space. I was forced to do it here in the condo unit and it was very smelly. Like my head hurt afterwards. There was not enough ventilation. I had the fans on, I had the door open, the windows open, but still the fumes were really strong. So I suggest you do it someplace open. And then as you can see in the bottom, I also attached another another bottle, the top of the bottle, since as you can see right now, the water is splashing around. And you can see in the background, I also added like this kind of like foam or this board at the back so that the water wouldn't go near the outlets at the back. But I added the bottom, the top of the bottle so that it wouldn't splash so much. Before that, I was trying it out without the bottle top, but it was splashing around everywhere. Like I had a towel set up and everything, and it was getting everywhere. So I had to attach that just so I could actually keep it going without the water being reduced drastically. As you can see, I have the grow media in there, and if you actually look, it's really interesting that it's trying to get it to focus. Come on, focus, dude. Focus. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see that. It has like a bit of a glisten because the rocks are actually really good at absorbing water. So all of the rocks right now are, if you grab it or if you touch it, they're all damp. They're all wet. So they're really good at absorbing water, which is what makes them really good grow medium for an aquaponics system. Other than that, I also attached the hose using these zip ties. I also drilled a couple of smaller holes in the grow bed so that I could attach those zip ties and fix the hose onto the grow bed. And I just let the water exit from the hose on the top, and it doesn't really affect the flow of water around the tank. So I think it's fine to leave it like this and not keep it buried downwards. So I have a couple of zip ties that are securing the hose in place. Kind of let it free here so that I could adjust the water pump around if ever I need to. But I think everything is fine. I also pointed the water pump that way, since if I rotated it so that it's facing the wall, it kind of like stirs up the water like that, and I feel like that would be too strong for the fish. So I just kept it facing that way. So when it's pumping out the water, the wall is kind of absorbing the force, and it doesn't stir up the water too much. So you're probably thinking that we can start adding the fish in here already, right? Well, you're partly right. I think we can start getting the fish by this week, but I'm leaving. I usually leave the condo every weekend, so it's Friday today, and I don't want to leave the fish in there for 2 days without supervision, since I want to be able to see what's happening. If there's a problem, I can address it immediately if I was here. And I'll be leaving, so I don't want to get the fish yet, but I can actually start getting it next week, since the system is already running completely. I still want to observe how it runs. I feel like it's already fine, but I still think that it's too risky to leave the fish on their own for 2 days without being able to see what's happening. So I'll just discuss what you need to do with a system like this. So you need to get once you start getting the fish, usually before that you would have to wait 8 weeks. You have to cycle the tank. You have to cycle the water in the tank for 8 weeks before it's a suitable ecosystem for a fish. But with this system, we're in a bit of a rush, so you can kind of cut down that time by 4 weeks if you put the fish in there and you cycle it. You remove a third of the water every 3 days, so you're kind of rushing along the process of getting it cycled. But this should work as long as you can constantly try to maintain the quality of the water by replacing a third of it every 3 days. So we can't really start planting yet, even though the grow bed is already like prepped for it. There's already enough water flowing in it. There's enough moisture in the rocks to start putting the seeds in there. But we can't do that yet because the aquaponic system at the bottom isn't prepped for that yet. This doesn't have enough nutrients to sustain the plant life on the grow bed. And what we need to do is, as I've said earlier, is we need to prep this tank at the bottom, meaning that it needs to be cycled 4 times, or for 4 weeks. It needs to be cycled for 4 weeks, replacing a third of the water every 3 days before the system at the tank is providing enough nutrients for the grow bed at the top. So I can't really start planting yet. I have to wait 4 weeks. I don't know, maybe I can rush it along since it's a pretty small system, but I'll also be going over how to start planting in the aquaponic system. Alright guys, so now let's just go over how the growing process works. So what you do is, in typical planting, what you do is you just kind of like dig a hole in the soil and you put the seed in there and then cover it up, and then you put some water on that, and that should be fine. The nutrients from the soil will provide enough nutrients to the seed for it to start growing. But in this case, we only have grow medium, which is the rocks. Those aren't going to provide nutrients for the seedling. What we need is nutrients in the tank itself to start the seedling, to start growing the seed. But from all the research that I've done, apparently you need a seedling tray, which I don't have. I already ordered it, but it's not gonna get here soon. So I'll just add a link in the description of a good video that I saw demonstrating how to do it. But I'll restate it here just in case you're too lazy to go over there and watch the video for yourself. Basically what you do is you just get a piece of cotton. These are cotton rounds. You also have to make sure that they're not antibacterial cotton. Sometimes like these are like, they put kind of like chemicals in it to make sure they're cleaner, and you can just like sniff it, and if you don't smell anything, it should be fine. So what you do is you just cut a piece of it. Alright, I might have overdone it. There. So here, it's just a small piece, and you have your seeds. I don't want to open it yet since the package told me not to open it if or I have to like store it in these like special conditions after I open this package. So I'm scared to open it. It might like, I don't want to waste my money. This was like 100 pesos worth of seeds. So you got the cotton, right? You put the seed in there, and you kind of wrap it up, and then show you so you go to the tank, and typically you have your seedling tray, and you fill that up with the grow medium. And in that seedling tray there should be holes so that the water can still flow through it, and you kind of bury it into the grow medium. Once you've done that, you can take this cotton and you just place it kind of like that, or you kind of soak it up first. So let me just kind of like dig a bit so you can get to the water. So there's like the water is already there, so I'm just gonna kind of soak it a bit, and I'm gonna put it like somewhere around like that, so the seed would be there, and I would just cover that up with more grow medium. So I don't know if you can see that. Where is it? Can you see it? It's right there. So that's the cotton. So the seed would be inside of that, and then you kind of cover that up with more of the grow medium. So what that does is that it kind of keeps the moisture around the seed to a certain level, so that the cotton absorbs all the moisture, and then the grow medium keeps the water, surrounding the cotton. So if the water actually had the nutrients right now, it can start growing, since it's already like the seed's already wet. It's consistently like absorbing moisture and nutrients. That would start growing already. But unfortunately, we don't have a seedling tray yet, which could kind of make it easier to move around the seed after it starts growing into a seedling. But even if I had the seedling tray now, it still wouldn't start growing, since I don't have nutrients in the water yet. So if I can continue this series, I will start cycling it by next week, and after I finish cycling it, actually I can start putting the seeds in here. Maybe if I need the seedling tray, I think it's gonna get here by next week, so I can also start setting up the seedling trays. And because I can already put the seedling tray here without putting a seed yet, so I think I can just prepare it for if ever I'm gonna start planting the seeds already. So I think that's it for this week. I've already gone over everything that we need. Actually, before I end this episode, I'm also gonna talk about the goldfish that I'm gonna get. So last time I went to Cartimar, I already inquired about the kind of goldfish they had. There was one store that was selling feeder goldfish, the one that I'll be using here. So those are typically middle finger sized fish. Excuse me. So middle finger sized fish, goldfish, and they're typically is around 4 pesos, so that's very cheap. 4 pesos would be 4 pesos is cheap. I don't want to convert it into other currencies. That's very small, very small amount of money. And I'll probably get around 2 fish or 3 fish to start cycling the water, since I'm really scared. I don't wanna kill any of the fish. That would be like very heavy on my conscience if I kill any of the fish. So I'll probably get 2 at first, just to start kind of like rushing the cycling process. But after that, I could probably add more, like two more, and then that would really support a larger system for the aquaponics, for the grow bed. Sorry. If I had more fish here, that means I can start adding more plants in the grow bed. So more fish equals more plants. So it's all a balance. Anyways, that's it for this week. Hopefully there's another episode next week so I can actually finish this project. So yeah, I'll see you guys hopefully. That's it. End of episode. That's Diving Into Aquaponics. See ya. Thanks for watching.